Hi there, so my name is Mike Garrett. I just thought I'd give you a show of Sinnis Apache with the full DEP System3 exhaust. Basically, you can buy this exhaust with the bike at a discounted price through your dealer network. The difference between this and a lot of other exhausts on the market is that as a full system it comes with a jet that adds about 1.5 horsepower to the bike. So it's still legal, but you get a vastly improved mid-range power. And even though it only sounds like a little bit, 1.5 horsepower on an 11 horsepower bike is over, well, it's about 10% more power, which you'll feel in the mid-range easy, which is where you want it really. DEP have been around for years. They've been around, I mean, I'm 39 and they've been around since I was 17. I can remember putting them on bikes years ago. Really good exhaust systems, UK brand. Yeah, and so they've been doing collaboration with Sinis, so you can buy the DEP System3 when you buy your bike from a Sinnis dealer, your Apache or your Blade. Yeah, and so they're a bit more expensive than a lot of the other ones on the market, but all the other ones on the market, they're not as well made at all. They don't come with the jet, so you're not actually getting any more power. In fact, you're probably losing it if you look at it logically. But and they still give you that nice raucous noise when you accelerate, which is what it's all about. Come on. This one, as you can probably see from the video, has got handguards on it, which we have a sister company called MPW that do a lot of parts for Japanese sports bikes, things like that. They do these universal handguards that fit the Apache. They're a bit fiddly to fit, but they do fit properly, and they're sort of well made. And unlike a lot of the universal handguards, generally they don't have this section on them. So it's really easy, you just stick them on here, job done. The trouble with that is if you crash, this isn't going to last 5 minutes, it's going to snap. Obviously with this part on it, you've got much more strength here as well as here, not just here like on the cheaper ones. Well, I don't even say they're cheaper ones. These are, I can't remember how much these are for this bike, but they are very cheap. I mean, if you check out our Facebook page, I think I'm going to give a set away very soon, because they are nice. But I would recommend that if you're not particularly mechanically minded, you get your dealer to fit them, because they are fiddly. But other than that, they're excellent. So Sinnis motorcycles been around since about 2006. We're smaller than some companies out there. But we are dedicated to customer services. We try and resolve most reviews. I think it'll be quite, if you read most reviews on the internet, we like to think anybody who's unhappy with a Sinnis product can come back to us and we can try and sort the problem out for them. Whereas a lot of companies, I mean, there's hundreds of companies out there that are very much like, once you bought the product, we're not interested whether we ever see you again. Sinnis motorcycles, we kind of run like a family. We're all very, very into the product we sell. Very often we'll go out for ride outs using Sinnis bikes. We just really like them, and we want to keep a fan base, which, you know, sometimes means we don't make much money off the bikes, because sometimes if you have a bike with a problem, you do get the odd one, you have a bike with a problem, we try and resolve it. And if that means that we end up losing money on the bike, then we'd rather have a happy customer out there than someone who's going around shouting about how Sinis is terrible and how they haven't helped them in any way whatsoever. So yeah, I think personally, and I've worked in this industry for about 5 years now, Sinis are different. I've been with Sinis for about 1.5 years, and I love it personally. I know it's not really probably of any interest to you guys as retail customers, but we like to think that what we sell, we would ride quite happily and enjoy it, and that's the way it works, really. And it's non-standard form with the DEP system. It does sound good. So I strongly advise you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because this is my first kind of vlog video. I wouldn't say it was a proper vlog. I work for Sinis, so I'm not the most impartial person in the world. Well, I like to think I am, but obviously you're all going to say I'm not, which is fair enough. And then yeah, I also advise you to subscribe to our Facebook page, Sinnis Motorcycles on Facebook. We give lots away. Last month we gave away a Scrambler motorcycle to one happy lady owner in Derby. And you know, we're going to give lots of stuff away: helmets, clothing, bikes, scooters. At the end of the day, we want to keep people happy. There's always promotions for lanyards and key rings, and we're always happy to have messages from happy customers posting up their pictures of their bikes. It's always good fun to see, and we normally send them a few stickers or something. Quite a nice sort of country area up here. It's one of the top paragliding destinations in the country. A lot of people come up here to paraglide when the weather's right. Also, what we do have, plugging away, is we have an Instagram page which you can have a look at. Google Plus page, YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitter page. We try and keep on it with the social media. It's the best way of advertising for us to the general public at the end of the day. So this is Devil's Dyke. The only issue I ever really hear with Apaches, and I sell a lot of them, is the tyres, the Kingston tyres that come with it. To be honest, they're not bad. They're not bad. They're not Pirellis, you know, they're not absolutely the spot-on grip. They're capable. In the dry weather, they're just as capable as anything else. In mid to wet weather, dry to wet weather, they're not bad. In wet weather, they're not the best, let's be honest. You go out and buy a set of 120, 130 pound Pirellis for the bike, they might not even be that much, but I think they're about that price. You're going to get better grip all round, but obviously if we put them on the bike before you buy it, you're going to pay more for the bike. So you have a trade-off, or we have a trade-off as Sinis, between what parts to put on the bike and keep the cost down. We could charge £2,500 for the bike and put every single all singing, all dancing part on the bike, and maybe that's what some people want, but most people haven't got that sort of money to spend, and that's why they come to a Sinis. They want quality, but they don't want the price tag of a Yamaha at £4,500. So we have a trade-off. How we work our trade-off is thus. The build quality of the bike cannot be sacrificed. It has to be a well-built bike if it's coming from Sinis. And I should know because I've tested quite a few now and just said no on the test report, we're not importing this bike, because it's just not been a well-built bike. It might be fast, it might pull 75 miles an hour, but the clutch is wobbly, you know, it's the welds are bad, you know it's not going to last. I would much rather sell a bike that is going to last, that someone can upgrade slightly if they want better performance, than a bike that's not going to last, that's got all the performance in the world. To put it in perspective, one of my colleagues at Sinis owns an Aprilia MX 125 and it's de-restricted, and it is a very fast bike. I've been out on it. It's ridiculously fast, to be honest. Shouldn't be capable of those speeds, but it is. It's an Aprilia, there we go. And it costs an awful lot of money. But I would say on average, every 4 times he's ridden that bike, it's ended up in the garage with something broken, clutch spring snapped, plugs burnt out. It's all the time it's in the garage. That is not something that I would expect to get onto every morning and ride to work at all. Whereas this, a Sinnis Apache, I would, and I do sometimes. In fact, this exact one that I'm riding right now, I used for work in the last week. I love it. And I know it's biased because it's me saying it, but I do also own a Retro Star 250 from Sinis. I love it. It's a real fun bike. But obviously I got full license, so it's alright, but it's a real fun bike. And the Apache as well, it's just awesome fun. It's the style of the supermoto, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, they're just great fun. You feel like king of the world when you're riding them. My girlfriend owns a Sinnis Heist. Lucky her. She loves it. She's always been into that sort of custom style bikes, so I, to be honest. So I've got a few in my garage, but she owns a Heist because she hasn't got full license. And to be honest, she was saying the other day that even if she had a full license, she loves it that much, she'd keep it and not get something bigger, because there's just no point. It's cheap insurance, cheap tax, cheap to run. Why sacrifice all of that for something else? So to me anyway, the Sinnis Apache is like the all-encompassing Sinis model. If you want to pick a bike in the range that's been good from from start to finish. If you want to pick a bike when you go into the shop from Sinis that's not going to cause you any grief, that you're going to get on every day, it's going to put a little smile on your face, it's going to get you to work, you're going to get off it thinking, you know, I've just ridden a supermoto to work and it feels great, I would seriously advise the Apache. I'd advise it more with the DEP system and the Jet, because it's just that little bit of extra pep and that noise that just, yeah, that really puts a smile on your face, as anyone will tell you. And even for someone my size, you know, because say 6'3", 18 stone, that dwarfs a lot of bikes. And the Apache, I'm not dwarfed on it, it's comfortable. I don't know if you are aware, but if you follow our pages on the internet, you'll probably see that myself and my colleague Lucas did a trip across Europe last September for 7 days through 7 countries: Germany, Czech Republic, Netherlands, where else? Belgium, Holland, France, for Riders for Health, for the charity. Riders for Health are a fantastic charity that support getting medical aid to people in Africa where the terrain's too bad for cars, so they use motorcycles. So we did that ride, fantastic fun. 125 SP, 125 Cafe, and it was really just to prove that you could do it, you know. On a 125 you can go to Europe, and you can have a bloody good laugh with a tent on the back of your bike. And yet you read these magazines where someone spent £20,000 on a BMW GS and all sorts of nice gear. You don't need to spend that much. Let's put it in perspective. The SP retails from I think it's £1,100, might be £1,200 on the road. So the SP retails 1,200 quid, right? So you bought your bike, or maybe you've even already got your bike. You've got to make sure your insurance is covering you for Europe travel. That's not a problem, it's normally included anyway, but do make sure. When you go to France, you have to have a fluorescent jacket and a breathalyzer on you at all times. If you're stopped without it, you can be prosecuted. It takes up no space. Yeah, and then just like luggage, make sure it's waterproof. I highly recommend Lomo bags. They were the only ones that were that waterproof. Everything else let water in. But yeah, definitely make sure it's waterproof, because there's nothing more depressing than every single part of your clothing that's wet, and then you get off the bike to go into the get dry and all of your supposed dry clothing is absolutely soaked as well. Yeah, and then a decent sat nav, because obviously you can't go on the motorway. I suppose you can, but you don't really want to go on the motorway. It's not that fun on a 125, and especially in Belgium, because the limit is so high that everyone just brushes past you at stupid speeds. So stick to A roads, it's more fun, more scenic anyway. And yeah, and basically sat nav, I use my iPhone 5. Was it iPhone 5S? I think actually it was iPhone 5S. I used that, and I had a product given to me to try out from a company called Twisty Ride, and it's a whole iPhone 5S holder that's completely waterproof, and with a charger lead and everything. I had to put a 12-volt little USB port on the bike before I went, and it was a godsend, because we had another sat nav, and it failed within about a day, and we'd have been totally stuck without this Twisty Ride thing, and it never let go. And even though I was riding in thick rain, it never troubled us at all. Sure, that sign says keep clear. So yeah, the Sinnis Apache, great bike, it really is. It won't let you down, it's good fun, great to commute on. There's not a lot more I can say about it really. check him out on the Apache 250. Little does he know we're both going to the same place. And so this is it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's probably been a bit boring, but yeah, buy a Sinnis Apache, buy the DEP exhaust system, go out and have fun.